Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. Today we are going to paint a watermelon with acrylic paints, so let's get started. And I'm going to start with a fairly large brush. Let's pick up the size 6 filbert and let's put in the pink area first, starting with a dark color. So I have this darker shade of red, and let's put that along the top. If you want to paint along with me, grab the sketch in the description below. Okay, and then we want to get lighter, so I'm going to pick up some of this lighter bright pink. And let's put that in next. And then let's add some white paint. And start getting lighter. Then I'm going to pick up a little bit of the orange. And let's mix that orange in. And then back to the pink and some white. And then pick up a little more white. And sort of try to paint around the seed shapes. Just want to get a soft blended color. Then I'll pick up some more white. And in the center here, it's going to be the lightest value. So you want to use quite a bit of white there. And we'll take some pink. And some white paint. And then we can start getting darker. So we'll grab this sort of reddish pink color and start putting that along the outside edge. Try to get close to that sketch line. Okay, and then you want it to get lighter, so you can grab some of that pink. And then pick up some white. And then allow that to blend in. Okay, we're going around those little seeds. But I'm going over the sketch a little bit as well, so that's okay. Okay, trying to get those different values and trying to get that paint to blend. Okay, so now let's make the outside edge a little bit darker. So I'm going to take a little bit of the black and then mix it with the darker red color and see if we can get a shadow color. And then let's start putting that in, maybe around the edge, just to get a little bit more contrast. Okay, and now let's switch to a size 0 round brush. And let's take that dark color, maybe mix up a little bit more. So we'll take the black and that red. Just want a dark red color. And then let's put that in. So some of these seed shapes are actually just going to be the shadow color with some of that dark red. So just put the shadow color and then the dark red. And the shadow color and then the dark red. Okay, so we could do that over here. Shadow color, dark red, and then shadow color, add one over here, and then the dark red. Okay, and then some of those sections are going to be the actual seeds. So to do that, pick up a black, put it around the outside, and then pick up the brown and put that around. Then pick up a little bit of white and put that in the center. So we'll take black, burnt umber, and then a little bit of white. And you want that to blend pretty well, so you may have to go over it a few times. Okay, so same pattern, take the black, and then the burnt umber. And then black, and then burnt umber. Let's do these seeds over here. Black, burnt umber, black, burnt umber, do black, burnt umber, black, umber, and then I think we have one more here, black, and then burnt umber. Okay, and then you could go back, take that white, just a little bit of the white, just put a little bit of a highlight into some of those seeds. Okay, so now let's work on the rind area. And to do that, I'm going to pick up that pink. And then let's get a little bit of pink, another layer here around the edge. And then into that layer, I'm going to add white. So add a layer of white, and you want those colors to mix together. And you want to blend them. And then we want some green. So you can take some of this lighter green color, and then let's put that along the next sort of circular line. Okay, this line actually goes over to here. and pick up some white paint and put a layer of that white on top. Okay, you can go over it a few times. You need to get it lighter. Just have a nice blend of color there. Then I'm going to pick up some pink and just put a little bit over to this edge. Okay, so now let's work on this base here. So we want to start with a pretty dark color. So I'm going to pick up some of this. This is a hooker's green, which is a nice vibrant green, kind of dark, but we'll make it darker by adding some black into it to get a really nice dark shadow color. And let's put that down here along the bottom. Okay, I might add more black. Get a really intense shadow. Okay, and I might bring that along this edge. Just use the tip of your brush to get along the edge. Okay, and then I'm going to take that dark color and I'm going to go around this edge up here. Just want to make sure that we have some nice strong lines here that are going to give us good contrast and definition. Okay, so now I might switch brushes. Let's switch to a size 3 flat brush. And now let's try to work on this area. So I'm going to mix up another sort of dark color. Take the black with the green. And then you just want to do little sections here. So starting with a dark and then putting some lighter green in the center. You can make sort of a wavy line. We'll go dark and then lighter towards the center. Okay, sort of a wavy line there. And then a lighter shade in the center. Just pick up the straight green. And then same idea. We'll do a dark color and another dark color, wavy, and then straight green in the center. Okay, so same idea, use that edge of the brush and sort of make a wiggle. Starting with a darker value, and then take the straight green and put that lighter green in the center. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Okay, so now we want to do that with the lighter green. So you can take some of this light green and mix it with some of the Hooker's green to make sort of a mid-tone green color. And then once you have that mid-tone, you can start putting that in the same type of way. So we'll make the lighter or the darker green on the outside and then get lighter in the center. And I'm going to take another brush, maybe just a round brush, put some white in there. Okay, so the mid-tone green and then the lighter green and then the white. That's a bit of a highlight. Okay, mid-tone. And then lighter. And then white as a highlight. Okay, and you can try to use one side of your brush to add the darker value and then the other side to add the lighter value. So that's one way to do that with just using one brush. Okay, and it's very painterly and loose, so you can overlap the paint with the darker values that you put in earlier. Okay, so we'll take that darker color, put it around the edge, and then flip over to the other side, put that lighter value in, and then grab some white and add a highlight. And then over here, I think I'll just do the light green and maybe a little bit of white. Okay, so I think that looks good. Now you can go back and add some final highlights. So for that, let's take some white, maybe add some white over here, this area. Maybe over here. And maybe come back here with some white. Let's make it look like it's sort of glowing. You can kind of dry brush that white in there. Give it a little bit of a juicy effect. And you could also go back and put some on some of the seeds if you wanted those to pop a little bit more. Okay, and then I would take a round brush and maybe come back with a little bit more of an intense color up here. You lost some of your shadows. You can come back with it. Or if you lost some of your bright colors. Okay, but again, be careful not to cover up some of the nice blending that you already did. Okay, and that is how you can paint a watermelon with acrylic paints. I hope you give this a try, like and subscribe for more painting tutorials, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!